Hi, Dom. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mike?
Very, very good. Yeah, this is our first one after Thanksgiving, and I take it you had a good Thanksgiving?
Oh, I had a great Thanksgiving.
Good, good. Yeah, me too. It was very relaxing. I think you said yours was relaxing too. So that's kind of
Very
what.
relaxing. We broke with tradition. We had leg of lamb instead of
Hey,
turkey.
yeah, leg of lamb is really good. So, how did
hmm
it come out?
Oh, it came out great.
Nice.
Lisa's got this recipe where she does it on the grill.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Oh, it's
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I'm sorry I missed that.
With a garlic scallion
Oh
sauce.
my God, you're killing me. Nice, very
But
nice,
yeah, so our Thanksgiving was great.
nice, nice. Yep, I just did a traditional turkey and dressing, stuffing, whatever you want to call it, and the traditional sides, but no green bean casserole. I got talking with a guy at work. We were talking about how so many people put out three bean casserole. And it's like I've never heard anybody that said, "Oh my God, I love the three bean or not three bean, but the green bean casserole."
Yep, yep.
And it's like I don't know. That's like of all the things you might put on the table, that's like
I gotta say, I've had good green bean casserole.
yeah, I've had some that were pretty decent, but it's probably my least favorite thing. And I like green beans. It's just that the green bean casserole, it's just
I've
my
never made it, so
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I never have either. I have had a few times where I had one that I thought was good. But they just tend it just tends to be kind of like I don't know, it's blah. Uh,
it's hard to elevate to a like just an amazing dish.
yeah. I mean, half the time if I'm we shouldn't be talking about green beans now, but like I've had just green beans that were made by somebody that did a good job, maybe made them a little smoky flavor or something like that. And I love green beans, but that's not the way I like it, but or the best anyway. But all right, so we should get going because we are talking about a movie
This is
that you
supposed to be
picked.
a movie channel,
Yes. But hey, we could turn it into a cooking one.
a cooking channel. I'd be up
Sure.
for it
Yeah, why
actually.
not? Why not? We both like food and we both like cooking. So,
hmm
but no, this is your pick this week.
Let me
So,
tell you about today's pick. Um,
sure.
uh, I love this movie. It doesn't seem like a holiday movie, but it does take place
Oh,
during
it
Christmas.
it's at
So
Christmas. Yeah.
I'm going to wedge it into our holiday season.
Why
My
not? It's a
choice,
Christmas movie.
my choice is a 1934 movie, The Thin Man.
Yes.
And this is something that you need a cocktail with.
Yeah, and you should have reminded me. I would have put one out because these two are epic drinkers. That's the best way to
Epic.
just yes. I mean, the really cool thing about both of them is they're a great couple, first of all. Myrna Loy is unbelievable. William Powell, unbelievable. And they did comedy together so well back then. And the Thin Man series, they really excelled at. But what's really fun and funny about this couple is not only their snappy patter, but it's also the fact that they both like if one is drinking, the other one goes, "Oh, let me catch up." But do the whole intro. Give us
So anyway, Nick and Nora Charles
yeah, and
are
Asta,
basically they are
Asta.
the it couple. Yeah, their
Yes,
dog Asta
yes,
makes three.
yeah,
They are on vacation in New York City for Christmas.
yeah,
And it just so happens that one of their friends' father is missing, has gone missing. And the reason this person comes to them is because Nick used to be a famous private detective.
yeah. Now
He's
retired.
retired now. He got married. But now that this woman's father is missing, she tries to bring him back in because she's worried about her father. Doubly so once people start dying and he gets accused of the murders.
Right. Yeah, a lot of things start happening around them. And one of the fun things too um, is Myrna Loy's character Nora. She is really into him in doing the investigations, and of course, in the later ones, she becomes more and more involved.
She wants
But
to see him work.
yes, and she really loves the whole thing. She loves the mystery and all of that. And she really is encouraging him like, what why don't you take this case on? And you know, it's very humorous how the two of them interact. Um, and
It,
I love how like even just some of the stuff that you know he'll say stuff like I'm living off my wife's money, you know, and he's and you know the two of them just have this great back and forth
their rapport
rapport.
is spot on.
Oh yeah, yeah. It reminds me a lot of like you know Bogey and Bacall how they did that.
Exactly.
You know, and Bogey and Bacall probably was a little sharper. These two are actually quite gentle with each other, but still really snappy.
I haven't done like serious research on this, but
Yeah.
I would say they are one of the earliest power couples.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
the male female
Yep.
combo actors that do great on screen together. They've got
Yeah.
chemistry.
Yeah. I do believe they probably are probably the first. The first to have this type of and also probably the first ones to be really true like you know there's been a few that have got involved in investigations or detective work whatever. I think you're right. These are the first two that started it all. But but
So,
no,
and
it's great. It's
I love this movie for so many reasons. For one thing, I'm a huge fan of the mystery genre.
yeah. Yeah.
Like I love sci-fi, I love horror, and it's easy to have that be like my go-to genre because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of great mystery movies these days.
No, not these days. No. Um but I love the old noir and you know I've always been a fan of the of old black and white. But
Mhm.
some of the early detective noir that was really done well. Um, it's some of the best of what Hollywood's put out, and this is a good example of just a real fun one. And it does take you on a whole little a whole little mystery, what's going on, kind of thing. Who you know who done it? Um, and there's quite a little plot there because um, there's a number of key players. There's an ex-wife who maybe had a reason to uh, want to off the guy. He's missing. Is he alive or dead? That's a real big part of it. Is you know everybody's saying he's alive, but he's hiding out. But he's got a mistress, and his mistress has been
You know,
taking money.
this is done well, which is no surprise because this is based on the novel of the same name by Dashiell Hammett,
Right. We you know but yeah it
one
that
of the greatest mystery writers of history.
yeah oh yeah so absolutely I mean and they do it justice. I believe they do it justice. I think they're it's actually a really well loved movie. But
And it stands up. I gotta say, I watched this movie with Lisa, who not only has not seen this movie before, but also has not seen a lot of earlier pieces. I think this is the earliest movie we've done at 1934,
yeah I believe so.
and she loved it.
Yeah yeah that well I'm glad because
This really stands up to modern audiences.
yeah. Well, I'm glad, and you know, I'm a really big lover of early film, including a lot of the silence. I really want to do some silent movies soon, but you know, it's a little harder because it's a harder sell to probably to newer audience is you know, a film buffs that people that are really diehard film fans. They probably a little more open to some of the earlier movies in the silence, but those are a little harder of a
But
sell.
I mean that's our channel. We bill ourselves as people
Oh
that love
yeah,
movies,
yeah,
and we will watch anything
yeah.
because there are good movies regardless of the age, the genre, whatever.
Well, we proved that we were watching anything when we watched both Sasquatch Sunset
And Thanksgiving.
and Thanksgiving last week.
It's funny. Thanksgiving was such I don't know what to call it, but a spatter-filled horror.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, okay, we need something that totally opposite.
yeah,
And the Thin Man is it. These two are just adorable.
yeah. Yes, they are. They are. And Myrna Loy, it's I've read a number of things about her career before she started doing the stuff with William Powell, and they were putting her in a lot of like drama, a lot of different uh, types of movies that really didn't suit her style. And when she started doing comedy with William Powell, all of a sudden it was like audiences loved her, and because that's her forte, and they just meshed so well together. They're it's yeah, they had great dialogue, but
Yeah,
boy, they really pulled it off.
the studios were very reluctant to put these two together.
I know, and that's the crazy part because
She had developed a reputation as a femme fatale,
yeah, yeah,
not comedy,
yeah,
and he
but
was he was significantly older than she was.
yes, yes, but my God, they worked well together,
Yep.
and as far as like her doing comedy, I mean that really is what she was good at. And my God, she's her the way she delivers lines. I mean, whenever he throws out a line to her, she catches it and serves it right back. It's like a tennis match. That's just very
Yeah,
well done.
these two are like whip quick with the quips.
Yeah, yeah,
They're back and forth. They're way ahead of their time. You can see the same type of thing in in TV shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like I
yeah,
know very few shows that are this quick.
yeah, yeah. And like I said,
Moonlighting kind of captured this well.
yeah. No, very few couples have achieved what they did. Like like I said, I think Bogey and Bacall probably, I mean, I love the dialogue between the two of them, but not many films actually can come to this level, and they really did. They set the level, I think, and everybody else that was trying to achieve that. But and we were talking about it just before we actually started doing this one, but there have been several sequels to this
Five.
one. Yeah, yep. And of the sequels, probably the first two or three are probably the best. And you were saying it, and it's true. They did get progressively flatter, and
Mhm.
the last ones probably weren't as certainly up to the first one. But I don't know. I like I said, I know the first two or three are well worth watching. I
Well,
really
one of the reasons is because I don't think they had the original director. This
well,
was
yeah,
directed by W.S. Van Dyke, that he had special methods of keeping these scenes fresh.
yeah,
So like for the intro scene, the first scene we see William Powell in, he basically said, like, okay, let's do a run through. Just walk through, carry that shaker into the bar and blah blah blah. And he didn't let William Powell know the cameras were rolling. And he loved to do that. He loved to like send people in cold
yeah.
without the knowledge that they were actually being on film.
Yeah, which is actually, a little more ahead of its time because a lot of the stuff with directors doing little things like that, that's considered more like modern cinema. So he was ahead of his time.
I know we're used to hearing stories of like, oh my God, we did 30 takes of this scene. And that was absolutely not Van Dyke. He was opposed to that.
Yeah, yeah. No, some of the scenes too, just between the two of them, it almost comes off like it's a little bit of it's like improv. It's not really like, they were ad-libbing lines. Some of the stuff. I mean, even this scene here where she first sits down and he's obviously he's tied one on. He's been drinking he's been drinking really well at the bar, and she comes in. She's not the least, she's completely nonplussed, saying, "Yeah, there that was him when he was still standing at the bar." And he sits down at the table and he's drinking his martini, and she says, like, how many drinks, are you in? And he goes, like, whatever it was. I think it was six, 5 or 6. And she looks at and she had a drink in front of her, and she looks at the waiter and she goes, bring me 5. I need to catch up. And and uh, and then of course they show them the next day and they got quite a hangover. But it's like I said, they love to party, they love to drink, and
So
they're having fun.
let me talk a little bit about the drinking.
Sure.
So the way I heard about this movie
Yeah.
was I am a fan of the online magazine Modern Drunkard.
Okay.
If,
I've never
if
heard it.
anyone out there likes to drink, check out Modern Drunkard. It's a magazine
Well,
out of Colorado, and it is hilarious.
yeah. Well, I'll have to check it out because hey, who isn't a fan of drinking?
And so they had an article that was like their top 10 drinking movies. And this was number 2.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I'm like, okay, I have to check this out. And
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
enough, they are like they're drinking, they're mixing cocktails. It's a thing. It's kind of a theme of the movie.
Oh yeah.
And one of
Yeah.
the reasons is because Prohibition ended about a year earlier.
Right. Right.
Like
And
people were just getting back into drinking.
well, and prohibition. It's like a lot of things. Somebody comes up with some stupid idea, and I mean, I get it. There were people that were, there was the woman sufferance where they were worried about their men going to bars and drinking and not coming home or spending their paychecks on booze or whatever. But it didn't do a damn thing to cut out drinking. All it did was make criminals out of people, which, hey, let's face
You
it,
know,
the war on
people need
drugs
their
is
vices.
what's that?
People
I'm
need
sorry.
their vices.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
People are going to drink. People are
yeah,
going to gamble. I'm not a gambler. I don't
yeah,
find the joy in that,
yeah,
but a lot of people do. People are
yeah,
going to do it.
yeah. Well, I've been known to gamble. I'm not a heavy gambler by any means, but I've been known to. I like the craps table for one thing, but but no, I've definitely been known to do it, and I do enjoy it, and I've never really seen. And yeah, I know there's people that go too far, but people, everybody's got their thing, and they're if they're prone to going overboard, it's if they don't have gambling or they don't have drinking or they don't have drugs, they'll do it with something else.
They'll
It's
find something.
yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean, let's
it's
face it, marijuana is still like solidly illegal in some states.
well, and that's one of the drugs that I like. I'm so perplexed with the idea that, like, why haven't we at least you know removed that from, I mean, we've got it class like it's heroin or something. It's just unbelievable. And it's weed. If you can accept drinking, you can accept weed. So it's, I mean, either one can lead to problems if you're going to overindulge. But hey, there's people that just overindulge in life. so so I mean, there's, food, whatever it is, if you're going to overindulge, you're going to overindulge. So
Mhm, mhm.
um, but I don't think,
But it's also worth noting that this movie is pre-code.
Yes, and that's a big thing. And I don't know how familiar you are with the whole crazy, you know, code that came, the Hayes Code that came out, but that Hayes Code was, yes, yes, the iconic picture of that proved everything that was forbidden and that you could not show on film was depicted in this one picture, which I believe Life magazine published it. But yeah, yeah, you couldn't show the inner thigh of a woman. You couldn't, and it's funny because a lot of the pre or the Hays Code stuff had to do with women. It was like, what you got to turn them into the,
Not just women though, like interracial relationships,
yeah, yeah,
romantic relationships
yeah,
were forbidden.
yeah,
Um, Displaying people like priests or judges as the villain
yeah, yeah.
was forbidden.
Oh yeah,
It,
yeah,
it was a very interesting thought experiment, shall we say.
yeah. And the funny part about it too is that it never really achieved anything because the movie makers, directors, studios, all they did was they just flirted around it, and so they were still depicting it. They were just depicting it in very subtler
Well,
ways.
I mean, the Hays Code was a thing, but they had very few teeth. It's not like they could say, okay, we're just going to pull that film. They kind of had to cajole
Well,
the
yeah,
studio.
but true, but the problem was there's a lot of movies that were made, and because of the damn Hays Code, and just you know times that were the 1950s, even just how I wouldn't say puritanical, but how staid and proper they were. A lot of movies that were, like it might be a Tennessee Williams play that was made into a movie, and the talk about the teeth being pulled. Some of the A Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. There was a real whole thing with if you're talking about the Elizabeth Taylor, Paul Newman version of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, the whole relationship that he had with his buddy, it apparently was I never read the play, but apparently his buddy had a crush on him. And so his, you know, that was like the big crisis, and he couldn't deal with it because his buddy died, and he felt the guilt. That's like he didn't handle it well. But they glossed over it so much that it lost its teeth. So this movie actually, even though probably they were, you know maybe more free because it was pre-code, they actually were really fun with the subtle way that they did innuendo and just you know that scene in the when they're on the train, and she says something about, oh, like Asta's gonna like climb in the bunk and he takes the dog and he kind of like flings it up on top of the, oh no, like, that dog's not coming in here. But I mean, they had such a great relationship together. I mean, look at the little looks between the two of them and everything. They're it's perfect chemistry, which is the reason why so many of the movies got made. I mean, people loved them, and they still do even today. These are much loved movies with movie buffs. So, I mean, I hope if anyone has not seen any of these movies that they really check them out because it's well worth watching, especially the very first one.
And I got to admit, like, it's got a decent plot, but the plot is kind of convoluted and secondary to the viewer's enjoyment of the movie. When Van Dyke directed this movie, he let the cast know that while this is based on Dashiell Hammett's book, The Thin Man,
Right.
use that as a rough guide.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he focused much more on the quick quips of the
yeah,
cast than anything else. He was looking for fast, fun entertainment.
yeah, and he certainly got it. And they it was great casting. Even this is the scene behind me right now is kind of near the climax of the movie where they Nick decides to invite everybody that's a suspect because they really haven't solved it yet. I think he's really on to it, but he kind of doesn't know. So he leads them in there, and then he starts throwing stuff out, and it's all innuendo about who's possibly the one. And then he's just watching their reactions.
It's funny, like that scene, that whole thing of inviting everyone to dinner and
Yeah.
saying the murder is in this room. It's such a cliche at this point.
Yeah, but it wasn't back then.
It
Yeah.
wasn't. This may be one of the earliest examples of it.
Yeah, I think it probably was, and it's done so well. It's just probably this is why it is copied so much in cinema because it's a great scene, and it's really funny too because his wife is sitting right next to him, and she's just really enjoying what's unfolding and how Nick is handling it and the way he's tweaking everybody at the table. They're all freaking out because they all have their own little guilt things that they've done and haven't done. But but it's so damn funny. And when he finally like pulls the, and he basically solves the murder right there at the table. It's good fun. It's absolutely good fun. So
Do you
yeah.
recognize that guy over your shoulder?
Um, the one that played the gigolo the gigolo boyfriend of the ex-wife.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean he's familiar, but no, I can't think of who he
That's
is.
Caesar Romero.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a young Caesar Romero.
Yeah,
Honestly, I didn't recognize him, and that's
I
somebody
didn't
that,
at first either.
yeah, that's somebody that I should have, and yeah, I actually he's so young there. No, I still even looking at him now, I'm trying to, I can sort of put it together, but
All I can picture is the Joker from the 1960s
oh
Batman.
yeah, yep, and actually that's probably like, I mean it's he almost looks a little like the Joker there, but he's so young here. That picture that's a good picture because it kind of it kind of displays like some of the looks when he was doing the Joker. But and
Mhm.
here's all the Thin Man movies. Then like I said, if anyone has not seen these movies, start with the Thin Man. Naturally, that's the first one and the best. But they're all pretty good.
And I gotta say, like the Thin Man, not easy to get. You can't just go out and get it. But a lot of the others are completely free on either YouTube or Tubi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's they're obtainable. It's you might have to look a little harder. This is another scene that I thought was
Yeah.
hysterical. Christmas morning, they're he's he's still got a drunk on. He's hung over, but he's got a drunk on, and he's been shot. That's the other thing. And and the night
It's just a
before that,
flesh wound.
yeah, it's only yeah, that's what he keeps saying. It's only a flesh, and she's kind of worried about him, but she's also like really enjoying the fact he's he's got this little toy gun which he keeps firing, and and that's hysterical because he's breaking Christmas ornaments on the tree, and she's not the least bit. She doesn't care. She's just enjoying the fact that he's playing with this toy air gun, whatever the hell he's got and he's like I said, here he's laying there having just been shot the night before, and he's perfectly happy. They're having a great Christmas together, and she comes out with her and she's got her gifts, and he's going, "Where'd you get that? You gave it to me." And he goes, "Oh yes, I did." That's right. And
And this is another example of an ad lib. Like
yeah,
this was not written in the script. He was waiting for the set guys and started shooting ornaments off the tree. And Van Dyke said, "That's in there.
oh
Let's
yeah.
do it. Go with this."
Yeah, it's actually it's great fun. I mean, it's watching him do that. I was sitting there laughing, and I had already seen this movie before, but I was sitting there laughing and just I love the way this just unfolds and plays out.
This
It's
movie is so fun.
yeah,
That's
and I
all I
mean
can say about it.
yeah, it's fun, and there's also it's it's touchingly loving because I mean
Mhm.
look at the looks between the two of them. This is a couple that genuinely cares about each other. I mean, when he gets in any kind of real danger, when he's doing something that maybe is puts him in peril, she is genuinely concerned and she really cares about this guy. They're a loving couple. They're great together. I mean, it's just like I said, it's good fun. It's funny. Um, it's got everything going for it. The chemistry between the two of them, they're perfect together, and that's the best thing I can say is
And,
that they're
and it has made them timeless.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know what this glass is called?
Um, no,
This is a Nick and Nora.
oh really, really,
Yes. This
yeah,
is named because of them.
really,
Yes.
okay, yeah. I was gonna say it looks to me like a an aperitif, you know,
It, it's a smaller martini glass. And the fact of the matter is back in that time, back in the 30s, if you asked for a cocktail, a martini or a Manhattan or whatever, they came in a smaller size. They did not come in the size that we get today.
right, yeah. Well, they definitely, they definitely, like I said, the best way that I can describe them is they're epic drinkers. They really
Mhm.
are. I mean, the two of them together, and they're funny drunks. They're when they get drunk together, they're just having a good time.
Oh,
It's
oh my God, the start of the next one, the sequel, the first
yeah,
sequel
yeah.
is he's out walking in the park and she wants him to come home. So she just starts mixing a drink and he's like, ah, I think I hear someone calling me.
No, it's like I said, even with the, I think the it probably wasn't until much later in their films that it started maybe like paling a little bit and maybe the whole thing getting a little older. But it was, it, you know, it, I think it's a lot of it has to do with writing too, and after you've done a few of them, then it gets harder and harder to try to like stay up to that same level. But boy,
Mhm.
they sure did it with the first, two or three movies that they did. And again, even the later ones, which probably a little more dull, even the later ones, I would say they're well worth seeing. I was happy I saw every single one of them. So, like I said, if people have not seen this movie, I all I can say is please watch this one.
Yeah,
If you
at the very least, see the first one or two.
Yeah. Now
You,
that's another thing that I thought was hysterical is when she comes into this is when she comes into the room and sees or into the bar and sees him. He's been talking with this woman who this is the woman who's the father is missing, and she's very concerned and she's asking him, "Can you help find my father?" And but they're very beautiful, and actually that's oh it's
Maureen Sullivan.
yeah, Maureen Sullivan, but a young Maureen Sullivan, but they're sitting there talking, and she comes in. She's not the least bit jealous. She makes a couple of jokes, and there's another scene later on in the movie where they're at the party at their place, and he's in a back bedroom talking to her, and she walks in and she's just like, oh, what are you two doing? She's so sure of him and so sure of their relationship. It's like she's not even like in the least bit concerned that it's like anything could be possibly going on. It's it like I said, it's a great relationship. These two are just terrific together. Uh,
Mhm.
that's that's the I mean, look at the looks in both pictures behind you and behind me.
Oh yeah.
Um, that's it's it's a it's an epic couple. They're they're fantastic, and I mean, they're a beautiful couple together. And they're enviable. I'm sure this movie being made in the 1930s when everybody was really suffering through the Depression. This is a this is a couple that just what probably was the ideal of what a lot of people were wishing, with the hard times and everything. Just two people that were well off but having fun and enjoying life, and I'm sure a lot of people were probably feeling like, oh, I wish I was Nick and Nora,
Yeah,
but again,
this was escapism at its finest.
yes, absolutely. No, terrific movie, great choice, Dom. And yeah, it absolutely does take place at Christmas. There's pre-Christmas parties that they're at. There's the scene in Christmas. Behind you, her standing there. There's the Christmas wreath, and
Yeah.
behind me, there's the Christmas tree. So it's absolutely a Christmas movie. I mean, it definitely takes place, right Christmas Eve and Christmas. So terrific movie, terrific choice, and
So
it kicks off our Christmas holiday uh, movie. So yeah. Oh, he was, and that's another thing. A lot of young people. I was actually saying this to somebody just recently, but a lot of young people don't probably even understand about like phone calls and how expensive they used to be. But this scene here is hysterical. This guy is on a crying jag. He's drunk, as they all are at the party. And Nick comes along and he sees the guy, and he's going on and on about his mother and everything. And he goes, well, why don't you call her? And he goes, I don't have any quarters. And he goes, well, just use my phone. And he's figuring it's a local call. And next thing you know, he gets on the phone and he's going, operator. He goes, can you connect me to San Francisco? And Nick does this double take, like, what the hell? But it's Nick and Nora, and they're such happy, free
so
spirited people. He's just
so
like, oh,
someone did the
whatever.
math.
Yeah. And
Do
of
you know
course,
how much that phone call would cost, the equivalent in
oh my
today?
God. I'll tell Dom, I'll
Oh,
tell you something. I remember because I'm old, and I remember years ago, like you know, uh, just just having somebody that lived halfway across the country. If you made a phone call like around the holidays to talk to a relative, I mean, you're in Oregon. I'm in New Hampshire, and if if I was to call you in the old days, if we stayed on the phone and talked for an hour, which you could easily do, you're talking about, a phone call could be 50, $100, easy. And that was money. That was like money back in the day. It was when a dollar was really a dollar. So yeah, like I said, it's crazy nowadays. You somebody calls on a cell phone, no long distance charges. People don't realize how good we have it when it comes to phone calls. It's
well, look
crazy.
at this. We're doing this on Zoom.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And it's I mean, yes, I'm paying for a more premium, Zoom membership, but still the connection itself, and we're able to see and talk to each other and film this and put it out to an audience.
And we're
And
doing like about an hour a week.
yeah, yep. And you could actually be doing this for free if you're not asking for any bonuses and benefits from which I pay for it because it gives me a little bit more. But no, like I said, we don't. And FaceTime, you can FaceTime somebody, two people with an iPhone or whatever. You're sitting there FaceTiming with somebody, and you're paying, just for whatever you pay for the phone service for that month. It's crazy what we have now that we don't, people just don't realize how bad it was unless you lived, in my time or your time.
And that is one more reason to see this movie. This movie is a time capsule.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
The
Um,
the the clothing styles, the telephones, the types of speech they use. There's so much. It's just fascinating if you know anything about
yeah.
this time period.
Oh, and I think that's probably one of the I think that's probably one of the fascinations with anybody that's a real true movie buff and loves old film. When you, I mean, look at the clothes, the people right behind, well, the clothes right behind her fur coat, and I know fur is more taboo now. But my God, some of the furs were so beautiful. I understand why people, would buy furs because
Mhm.
they're so plush and soft and yeah, we have more synthetics that can duplicate that. But my God, that fur was so beautiful, a mink, really beautiful mink. And then the suits, the dudes in suits and the fedoras. I mean, they were sharp. People actually dressed when they went out somewhere, they dressed. And hey, I'm Mr. Casual, so I'm a big hypocrite. But I love the look. I love the look of people dressing up and that kind of care about themselves when they went out. Men would wear hats, women wore hats, women wore gloves. They had nice purses. The styles were just beautiful. And so I think people a lot of times when they're watching older film, they're just sitting there going, "Oh my God, look at the dress! Look at it's there's so much."
Yeah, they were stylish.
Yes, absolutely. And there was a swagger. I mean, look at the fedora there and the hat on her. They wore them at a little tilt and with a little bit of swagger. Look at her gloves. Even her gloves are beautiful. But yeah, these movies are great, and they are a time capsule. They make people look at that and go, "Oh my God, I wish I, you know, I wish I lived in those times." It's
One thing I found out from looking into this movie is that there was the Thin Man TV series.
Oh yeah, no, I actually do remember that. I
I
saw
did
some
not
of that.
know. I've watched a few episodes now.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think this really started a whole thing with this, j just the idea and hey, look at how the fact that you had a couple who was solving mysteries.
Mhm.
Look how many um, look how many came after that. I mean, what was the um, what was the Rock Hudson one with that was done in the 70s? Um,
Oh, McMillan and Wife.
yes, McMillan and Wife, and
There was
and
Heart to Heart. I've already mentioned
yeah,
Moonlighting.
oh yeah, yeah, on and on. It's become a thing, and again, there's a reason for it because it's fun, and what more fun can a couple have than to be the two of them be, they're going to maybe exotic places or they're off on an adventure
Also,
together.
they're encountering intellectual puzzles. They're looking at these clues. They're trying to ultimately bring a murderer to justice.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true fun, I mean, hey, look at how people will go to dinner clubs and they go to those mystery nights and stuff like that. These people were living they were living that. So it's just a lot of good fun. And again, like I said, I just this one here is a particular favorite of mine. When you suggested it, I was like, yes, absolutely. I would revisit this at any time. So the fact that I got to rewatch it again now was, it was a gift. I thank you for choosing this one,
Oh, please.
especially especially after some of the some of the clunkers that I've been choosing, but which
I, I feel
recommendations.
obliged to like choose a palate cleanser
Yeah,
every now
yeah,
and then.
yeah. Um, And to tell you the truth, I do not have my backup yet, so I'm going to have to surprise
Yeah,
people.
what are you going to follow this with?
Yeah, well, it will be something more Christmas oriented, and I hope to go a little bit more. We'll see. I don't want to say yet, but we'll surprise people with the next pick. So, but and I will try to let you know as soon as possible. But yeah, uh,
But yeah, so it sounds like we have g gushed enough about this movie.
yeah, yeah. That the I would say the only bad side of this, and that is, um, I think it's probably something that we absolutely did not disagree on anything about this movie because this one, again, it's two solid thumbs up. You know, if anything, you know, I would actually almost have to say I've got to put up and you can't even see it with me sitting directly behind it, but that's the multiple thumbs up.
Mike,
So
you're gonna have to have a 3D print model,
I know,
like 5 thumbs.
seriously, just yeah, just but no, it's again, I, this is a movie that I truly love. I think you absolutely did. It sounds like it was a hit with Lisa,
Hmm.
um, your wife Lisa, and
Yeah,
so
yeah. Seriously, if anyone loves movies and you haven't seen this, this is just a super fun movie.
yeah, please check it out for your own sake. If you love movies, please check it out. I mean, if you're someone that maybe is not as into older film yet or whatever, I would say this one wouldn't be a bad
This
way
might
to.
change your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely would have fun, especially if you like, you know, if you're someone that likes rom-coms, but it's so much more than that. But I to say that almost makes
But no,
it,
that's not too far off the mark.
no, but it's probably like one of the great. If you're going to call it a rom-com, it's one of the great rom-coms. But it's also detective. It's everything. So check it out, and it's great noir. If you like noir, this
I
is
don't know if I would call it noir. It's a little
I,
too adorable and lighthearted to be noir.
yeah, but it's got qualities of that, the crime and some of the bad guys and stuff like that. So yeah, but anyway, uh, check it out. It's well worth it. And please, if you're still watching with us, please leave that like and subscribe if you would. And we're actually pretty close to 20,000 subscribers now,
I
which
don't
is
know how we
crazy.
did that.
I don't either because I
I
don't
mean,
either
thank
because
you.
yeah,
Thank you for
seriously,
enjoying this, but
yeah, we haven't achieved a lot more with this channel, but other than the fact that we're having a lot of fun with it, we're just two goofballs that are that love our movies and love talking about them and love joking and having a good time with it.
look, if
So
this channel gives me a justification to watch more movies, I can tell
exactly.
Lisa
I
that it's
know
for the
what,
channel.
yeah, what better thing do we have for a, this is kind of like a hobby for us folks. If you're watching this, it's like, this is, we both love movies and we're having fun. So, and yeah, it spurs us on. You know, every once in a while, Dom will throw a movie out to me and I'll be like, yeah, I've never seen that one. And he does the same thing. And it gives us, it opens us up to some that, you know, maybe we haven't explored. But and then there's ones that we both have seen and love, and then there's the crazy ones. So, but anyway, yeah, let's Dom. I think we probably can wrap this up. Um, this was a great choice. It started off our holiday season, so we're going to keep them coming for a while there, folks. We subjected you to a lot of horror in October, and
But now
now we're
Christmas time is here.
it really is. It's actually really close. So we only have you know, a couple more shots before Christmas is actually here. It's coming real fast. So Dom, well, let's a call it a match here with this one. It was pretty good, and I'm glad you picked it. Let's see you again next week. I'll see you again. And
And it's
folks,
your pick. So
yeah, it will. Yep, folks, I'm going to surprise everyone. Even Dom, he doesn't know yet what I'm going to pick. I don't know what I'm
nope.
going to pick. So, but yep, see you guys again next week. Dom, good fun, and we'll be doing it again next week.
Always great.
Yep, same.